I watched According to Hip Hop. I think they're the best hip hop podcast, other than us. You know what I'm saying? But
like it's a
like it's up, yeah, man. Like it's up. So Coop was on there, man. When he was talking about this Mos Def thing, he was adamant that Mos Def didn't have any reason to be talking about Drake because Mos Def also sings and raps and did all this other stuff. But and so he said that Mos Def don't have no classic albums, and said that Black on Both Sides is not a classic album. This made me want to talk about Black on Both Sides, man. We got to talk about this album. Let's talk about it. Is it classic? What defines a why wouldn't it be classic if it's not? And yeah, man, let's go through.
Before we get into that, I also want to talk about how Coop disrespected my man's the fat dude himself, Big Pun. Rest in peace. And that's what made me mad. He disrespected both. So we're gonna talk about that later. But I was very upset with Coop for this. So Black on Both Sides is I would definitely say this is a classic. It came out in a year that wasn't super strong. Mm-hmm. So it was one of the best albums of that year. Maybe those two albums better, in my opinion. BG had Chopper City in the Ghetto that I really love. And
you think it's better than this?
I love Chopper City in the Ghetto, dog.
Okay.
And what other albums were better, do you think, in that year? Like I looked at the list, I didn't really see too many that I thought were really close.
Yeah. I don't think to me this is 2001 I think would be the another one that people obviously say Things Fall Apart. There's another one.
I'm not gonna lie. So Things Fall Apart was one that I thought of, and then 2001. I love some songs on 2001. I cannot sit here and say that I have been a huge 2001 lover. I know that that's like blasphemy to some people, but I don't think it's really on that all-time greatness level. But hey, man, what do I know? You know what I'm saying? Just here to hate.
I disagree with that.
Little casual hate for y'all, little Dr. Dre hate. You know what I mean?
I disagree on that.
I didn't love it when it came out. I remember being in high school and being like, okay, cool. I'm going back to this C Murder album. You know what I'm saying? Bossalini.
I'm with you.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not. I wasn't freaking out about it.
Yep, I'm with you on that 2001.
No, I disagree. That's why I got to push back. Okay, y'all are being just as crazy as Coop. No, y'all being just as crazy as Coop was. Yeah.
No, we can compare. Black on Both Sides better than 2001.
Oh man, we don't know how to do this. We don't got to do this. But let's do it.
I was going to the grave with that one. I don't know why you brought that up. I was never going to say that. Oh man.
Let's talk about let's give Black on Both Sides its shine first, and then we can compare it to 2001 because we might as well now at this point. So I love Black on Both Sides. I would say it's one of my favorite albums. I mean, it'd probably be in the top 100 albums or something like that to me. I love this album. So I'm shocked that even saying that, there are so many better albums in 1999. I don't think 1999 is a bad year. I mean, there were other great albums to me, but I think this is my favorite of that year. To me, only rivaled by 2001. Or maybe, I wouldn't even put Operation Doomsday over it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I like Operation Doomsday a lot. So, what's the whack song on this album? Because this dude was talking like there ain't 7 fire songs on this album, and that's bullshit. So, this is why I was getting mad, because I didn't know what this dude was talking about. And then I looked at the list, then I listened to the album again. Yeah. And I was like, what is this dude talking about, man? The songs on here that I would say I do not turn on are
Love.
Probably what?
Love.
Yeah, I was about to say Love and May December.
May December is not like, he's not rapping on it. That's like just the outro.
I used to like Rock and Roll.
Oh,
well,
really?
I always skip May December. I used to listen to it a good bit. I don't really anymore. But I remember when this album came out, man. like I said, though, I was in high school when this came out. So these you talking about, first of all, an album that I love to death. I remember listening to it with my friends. I remember listening to it throughout college. This is like a great album to me. Some of these songs will never get old. Miss Fat Booty never gets old. Got never gets old.
Yeah.
Umi Says never gets old. I love Know That. I love Brooklyn. I love Habitat, Mr. Nigga, Mathematics, of course.
Mathematics is
like
the best song.
20 song ever.
Yeah.
Mathematics one of the greatest songs of all time, man.
That's his best
Drake
song.
had no song better than Mathematics.
Not one.
Not one. Not
many people do though. Like that's the thing.
How many albums he sold? I don't care how many albums he sold. He ain't got now one song on the Mathematics level. So
yeah,
I don't get everybody, man. This is why we had to start our own channel because people be saying things and I don't know what they be talking about. Like what do you listen to if this album is not, if you gonna say it's not classic, that's fair enough. To me, I just think out of the 17 songs, really it's like 14, 13 songs.
Mm-hmm.
There's like one or two that maybe are not at a high level, but the ones that are great on here have never fallen off.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so let me just go first off. I even love like the intro, Fear Not Man. I think everything he says on that intro is true. People even today, like even today, people be like, hip hop this, hip hop's dying, this, that, or whatever. And he says, hip hop is the people. If the people are doing good, hip hop will do good. You worried about people right now, even like the controversy we talk about, we can talk about D1, people like hip hop's too negative. If the people, if the society wasn't negative, hip hop wouldn't be negative. Like it's that simple to me. Like, it's really just a reflection of us, right? So I love this intro. And then hip hop, I love. Love, I think is a good song. I just, like I said, it's only, just average in comparison to the others. Miss Fat Booty is classic. I like Speed Law. Do It Now with Busta Rhymes is an amazing song to me. You didn't mention that one, but I think that's a classic song. I love that song. Got Umi Says, New World Water. I love New World Water. That's
who has songs like this, and that's the thing is like when I was a kid, I was like in high school. To me, this was the KRS One for my time. This was the you hit me with something I never would have even thought about with the water stuff. I never heard nobody even go onto these type of rants at this time when I heard this.
Exactly. This is 1999.
I remember being like, damn, the water's bad? Like, I never even thought about this shit. I was like, damn, so I remember having my mind kind of blown by that. And I was like, damn, this is what this dude is rapping about, so, and then rapping well, Mr. Nigga, like, this was, again, when they came out, they was on that, we not with this corny pop shit, we about this raucous life. Most always been on some positive black people knowledge type shit. Like he talks about, like God talks about how you get robbed in the hood, but it's never the same thing as other people who might talk about, shooting people, things like that. So it's not that it has no edge, but this is the same type of, like I said, to me, New World Water was like my philosophy. Or something like that, like to hear that at that time when I hadn't heard that from anybody that I was really listening to at that time. I thought that these type of songs were huge. I mean, Mathematics, like this is at that time, this is like facts and knowledge, in the best possible way to deliver that to somebody like myself, who I'm like 14, 15 at this time. And that's one of the reasons why I love this album so much.
Me too. And so this is the thing, and I'm younger, right? So 1999, I'm 6 years old, right? So like I listen to this later, but to me it's so, the fact that he put out a song like New World Water in 1999, you know, people now are, you know, still talking about, or just now, or like, you know, catching up on like, everything being green and stuff like that and stuff like that. This is in 1999. This is like real. This would have been some real, you know, hippie type stuff in this time, right? And then, but like this stuff on this album are still relevant today. To me, that's the definition of a classic. Like everything he says on this album is still relevant today. You know, like even mathematics. You know, you could talk about like obviously some of the statistics and stuff are off now because it's, you know, all numbers, but still the concept of the it's amazing to me. And he does political, he does spiritual, he does you know, love songs, he does stories, he does just bars, he does fast rap with Busta Rhymes, high energy raps, and melodic stuff. He does everything on this album. I can't say there's many albums like this that are as versatile and high quality. Like
Umi says better than R&B singers albums. It's better than a lot of R&B singers R&B songs. Like I was like, yo, I like I said, at the time when this album came out, this shit never stopped getting played since then. You know, from me. So I think that's crazy to say that this album is not a classic. But Bito, what do you think, man? You probably were like what? I mean, I don't even know if you ever heard this album before. Like, I know you was definitely grown when you did.
1999, I was 3.
Right. Yeah. Still watching Barney on repeat. You was big on the Barney, man. I used to be so annoyed. I'd be like, dog, can we turn this shit off? You'd be like, Barney says dance. I was like, oh my God.
Barney's still fire. I wish they came back out with that.
No, but didn't Barney touch kids or something like that? Didn't Barney get in trouble for that?
I don't know, man.
Why are you always taking it left?
Yeah, you always.
Because I got hate for Barney. Because fuck Barney. That's why.
Dang, man. Wow. Barney catching streets out here. I don't understand it.
Nah, he getting direct shots.
From this album, probably just listening to it would dumb it down. Honestly, I would need to revisit it now as an adult to really understand it, because even when we might have listened to it in teenage years, I wouldn't have understood everything on here. I don't know. So this is something I have to sit down with and deep dive into this. I can't judge a class. I don't know. I don't know the impact of this album. Like I said, I know the impact of Mos Def in general, and it's very low. But when this came out during the time, I don't know. I guess, I mean, you're saying that it was big for you in high school. I'm not sure. Was it getting play like that everywhere, or was it just something that you found by yourself? Or
don't forget, man, the old Baldy was a young nerd, so you know that's not. I've always been a rap nerd, man. I don't know what other people listen to, but you know, again, I'm from New Orleans too, so you know, people listening to, like I said, C Murder, BG, Hot Boys also had an album that year, I think. So those are the things that we're gonna be listening to. Not so much Mos Def or Raucous, you know, again, coming off that Raucous shit and then coming out with a solo, and the hype for that was really going to be in the Source and other places like that where I was reading at that time.
Yeah. It said it did pretty good in sales. It went gold in less than 5 months, so that's good.
I mean,
because again, remember, they were considered underground artists,
right?
Like, they never were the popular artists. And I remember Miss Fat Booty getting burned on like Rap City, and you know, and stuff like that. So all the video shows would show that song, and then you would see Umi Thed sometimes too. So I don't know, you know, at that time, I definitely didn't hear it on the radio in New Orleans, for sure. But we got the CD. I listened to it all the time. So I don't know, you know, as far as popularity, gold at that time wasn't really, 99, you got people out here doing probably 8, 9, 10 platinum, right? I don't know what Eminem sold, but he probably did, you know, that year probably did 20 million. So, you know, going gold is cool. And nowadays that'd be a big deal. But back then, people went to the record store and bought CDs. Yeah. And you went anytime you got money. You had a job, you went on payday. If you went, you know, if your mom gave you money, we went right to the record store. We used to cut school to go to the record store, Peaches. Like it's like people don't, you went to buy records. People wanted to have CDs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think, yeah, like I said, it is underground. Like, it is underground, but I think this is the thing. When you say low impact, like, low impact, I don't think that's true. I think that's, it's not low impact. It may be, relatively lower sales, but I don't think that's the same as low impact. The reason why, like we said, everyone knows, respects Mos Def. He's known as one of the top tier lyricists and stuff like that. He's known as, if it's this album is his, this is his, debut album. This is his, his best album. And I think it has an impact. It's still talked about to this day.
Yeah, because like I said, the Lyricist Lounge album came out and Sound Bombing was out, and these was on Raucous. So you got to understand, at that time, Raucous was like, I don't want to say it was Griselda of the time, but it was like that. Like, it was a thing. People knew about it, but it was only for certain type of cats wanted to hit it. Not everybody. You got your incense burning chicks. You got your rap nerds like me. My people in the chat, like Leroy, what type of people was listening to Raucous records at that time. It's like I said, the internet wasn't as big, so people would talk about it on message boards and stuff. But I mean, this first album, this was after Black Star came out, and Black Star was huge.
Right.
And I remember being hyped up and my friend put me on to Black Star. So when this came out, we was anticipating it. Yeah. And then he was like, and when you look in the source and it's like Mos Def about to come out, the hype was there. It was palpable for me. So like I said, I remember that. Yes, Erykah Badu and her friends, and I was a huge Erykah. I still am a huge Erykah fan, of course. Love Erykah to death. My favorite R&B singer, probably behind Stevie, I guess. So if that was like the thing. So yes, it wasn't like the same as popular, but it was as popular as you could get on the underground. So that's why I compare it to like a Griselda type thing. Like, they're popular for underground, not really popular.
Yeah, I mean, and then so this leads, they were also talking about, on according to hip hop again, Coop and Mike, they were talking about how, they were giving like extra titles to these albums. Like, some things are regional classics, or some things are, just backpack classics, I guess my question to y'all is, because B-Dog brought this up, does something have to be crossover mainstream in order to be a classic? Does something have to reach everybody in order to be a classic? Or if it's...
No, for sure not. I don't think so. I mean, that Solange album, A Seat at the Table, was amazing, a classic.
That was a super classic. Yeah, from the day one.
That's never getting mainstream love or anything like that. I'm sure it didn't get no radio spins. Probably didn't even sell that many records.
That got radio spins though, I think, man. I feel like every black person I knew was talking about that at the time.
I didn't hear it until
years later. I told people that don't know about it.
No, I didn't hear it till years later.
No.
Oh man.
The one song, what's the Cranes in the Sky. Yeah, Cranes in the Sky. That song was on the radio and stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was getting that was getting played. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that's not. That's not.
I don't know. So you think that crossed over? I don't know.
But this is also part of the internet. It's like not everything gets everywhere. Like I live in my own little world. I don't have to listen to or ever hear about what's your girl's name? Sexy Red. I don't gotta know a single song of hers because I don't listen to radio. You know what I mean?
Yo, I happened to be in my car the other day and on the Sirius, and I heard a Doja Cat song, and I was like, I'm gonna listen to the whole song. I was like, oh. And then I turned that shit off and went back to what I listened to, but I never would have heard it otherwise. I was like, wow, okay. New for me. So yeah, you be in your silos. But back to our topic, man.
So Leroy said, after the blog era, you
Go
don't
ahead.
have to be crossover to be classic. Now, the thing is, this came out before the blog era. This is 99.
What is crossover? If you go gold, I know Eminem went diamond, but you went gold. You sold 500,000 records. 500,000 people went to the store and bought your CD with cash, like with money. Like you didn't just open your phone and it was there. You had to go walk or get on a bus or drive there.
Yeah.
So is that the same thing? Like it's a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to do it back then.
Right.
That's why when people talk about those sales numbers for Drake and stuff like that, man, I'd be like, that's cool, that's great. But people had to go to the store to buy records for Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Like you wasn't just, oh, I'll catch it on my phone. Like you woke up, you got in your car, you drove to the store, you bought that, then you went home, unless you had a CD player in your car, which everybody didn't have then. Some people bought it on tape. Some people bought it, or you put that shit in your car and then you listen to it, like that's what people did. It wasn't, it's not the same thing.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I'm not saying the same thing. We weren't comparing. My point wasn't to compare Drake to Michael Jackson. It was the point to compare him to Jay-Z. So, but regardless,
but impact is a thing, and that's what we're saying. This album had impact. This album, it was a big underground hit, sales record. It sold records for an indie label at the time. It's got nothing but great songs on it. Throughout the super classic songs on there. So you can't say, oh, it don't have no moments. It's got moments on moments. You know what I mean? Mathematics is a moment on moment. When you turn that beat on at any rap show I ever been at, people know what that is, and people know what they about to start rapping along because it's mathematics. It's not something just regular song. Plus, it's a fantastic beat, Preem, of course. But these type of hits are hits. I saw Mos Def and Kweli do Black Star live, and Common came out for Respiration Verse as a surprise guest, and I fell down, and I was like, I was like, oh my god, I freaked out. I definitely had a spastic moment. I think I grabbed my wife's shoulder so hard, I was like, it is here. So it was so that type of stuff is like legit, man. These dudes they not like some nobodies, man. To me, it's like crazy to diminish the accomplishments of what Mos Def did at that time.
Hey, I mean, listen, we know strangers hating, so that's not, I don't have no issues with that. But to me, that's why I just feel like we just simplify the term classic. I just feel like it's used so many different ways, so many different places. If people are still talking about an album, 25 years after it dropped, still talking about how amazing the songs are, if new generations are still listening to the albums for the first time, listen to the songs for the first time, and are impacted by it or impressed by it, that's a classic. Like I just in every way, I just feel like if it's still gonna talked about, the people who were there at the time were impressed by it, the people who came later impressed by it, and it's still being talked about, it's a classic. I just feel like
I don't think that last part necessarily matters. The people who come after listen to it, because eventually, time moves on. I don't know how many kids are going back to listen to Michael Jackson, but one of the greatest of all time.
People still go back and listen to Michael Jackson.
Yeah, man.
Maybe. Yeah. I feel like I don't hear the Michael soundtracks no more when I go out like that.
Man,
that's because of the controversy.
Just put it on in your car and blast that shit, man. Put on that off the wall, bro, and ride down the street. You know what I mean?
You may hear less because of other stuff. People tried to tear down Michael's legacy with other stuff. But
no, I don't think that.
I do think that's it.
And he turned himself into a white woman. I mean, that's also going to diminish his impact.
All right, come on.
He went from a black man to a white woman.
Yeah.
He was non-binary before. They clown Mike, but they wouldn't do that today. That's not PC. You know what I'm saying?
He definitely could have made it today for sure. That's funny.
But you talking about even still, you proving my point though, Bryce. We talk about somebody who made music in the '80s, and you know the whole album. All right, you born in the '90s, right?
So that dude though, yes. But that's what I'm saying. Eventually, time moves on. Like,
okay, so but,
eventually,
I mean,
eventually, but you still a generation removed. You still knew all his songs. And then when he died in the 2000s,
2006, yeah,
young people still knew all the songs. So we talking about multiple generations knew all his music. That's my point. That's a classic.
Okay,
that's
yeah. Right, you don't know just know the songs either. You probably know some of the dances. You probably know like some of the videos. You ain't watch a video your whole life. You ain't watched no damn video, and you still can tell me what Smooth Criminal look like. Like it's a thing.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I'm just saying, like 20 years from now, I don't know if he's still.
But my point isn't that okay. My point isn't that it's got to last forever, literally forever. I don't. If it's not talked about 100 years from now, whatever. Who cares? But my point is that it's multi-generational. If something lasts multi-generational, it's classic. Like that. That's really you may not have to love it personally, but if it's impacted multiple generations, like, why do we have to debate that it's not classic? Like, you know what I mean?
I agree with that. I think it's easy to, I don't know. I think you think it's a lot harder than I think it is to define a classic. I feel like it ain't that hard to me. If it grab everybody during the time it come out, I feel like that's easy. I mean, like I said, I don't think people make classic albums anymore, so we might be forgetting because I don't think even artists try to make classic albums anymore.
No, but I think that's part of the issue. That's that's the definition you said. I feel like is part of the issue because that's what, like, when Cooper and Mike were talking about it, they're like, oh, well, maybe that's just regional, or maybe that just only hit this crowd because you're saying it had to hit everybody the time it dropped, but that's not true, right? Not everything hits everybody, right? And I think, that's kind of the problem. Like, if, you from the South and, this album came out, in your hometown, it's hot in your hometown, then, it was only, for you. It's only classic to you because I live somewhere else and that wasn't popular. It's not classic. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is. That it's easy to do that. Well, with anything. I could say Drake don't have any classics because to the hip hop purists, his music don't hit, right? But that's not the case, right? It hit for a lot of people for a lot of time. Then hey, we gotta let it be what it is.
I do think there are regional classics though.
Like what?
There are regional classics. You're right about that.
There are regional classics, just like with movies,
like Chopper City in the Ghetto.
Exactly.
Ghetto D. Some of them E40 albums and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like E40, but I'm sure people in the West Bay Area might be mad if I say that I don't like most of his music.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess okay. So, but like I said, that's not the case with. And let's talk about this next one too, because we want to talk about.
I would say those aren't real classics, man.
Right. If they didn't reach outside of their city, I don't think they're real classics. Let's talk about something else that.
That's way more than they just a city though. Any of those albums. I don't know all E40's albums, but we're not talking about songs just in a city.
No, I know. I'm not saying just a city, but
just a state. But yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah. I mean, regardless, let's go to Capital Punishment. Right. Let's go to Capital.
We're gonna argue about that another time, though. But
yeah, we're gonna talk because we're gonna keep arguing about it. We're gonna argue about it right now when we talk about. See, look, Leroy said, "Whoa, E40, relax. E40 gets mad respect in the Bay Area."
No, I'm not disrespecting him. I never loved him like that. I don't know his music to even hate on it. I like to be an informed hater, so I like to know exactly what I'm hating on thoroughly. That way, I can discredit whatever you say back after I hate on you. In this case, I wouldn't do that to 40. I only know about 2 of his albums.